All right, Daniel. You see, Daniel, what was your impression of the event?
I think overall it was very encouraging, mostly because towards the end, I think the keynote speakers, who were Nina Turner, state rep from Ohio, and Jill Stein, the current Green Party candidate for president, they both said more or less the same thing, and they both said positive things about each other. I think that's a positive sign that we're transcending parties and class, and we're thinking of beyond the two-party system towards the issues that we actually care about. And there was a lot of overlap from workshop to workshop. I mean, obviously, we did a presentation on Move to Amend, and we talked about corporate personhood and, the notion that money is speech, but then we also talked about oppression and the system of white supremacy that keeps us divided and keeps us from getting to the world that we all want. And, a lot of times in a lot of different conferences, we get pushed back, like, what about this, what about that, or do we have to do all of this together? And there was some of that today. But overall, it was encouraging that, there were people who were Greens, Democrats, Socialists, even some conservative people who really coalesced around the issues, the platform, and the need for transformative change. And I think that's a very good sign going forward. I'm not really sure how the DNC is going to do it.
No, you said that the people seem to transcend their parties. Was that something that came naturally, or did you find that you had to sort of push them there or pull them there?
There's no pushing. Most people are at a level of frustration and or at a level of empowerment where they don't believe that they need the parties anymore, and they are more interested in the issues than just reinforcing the status quo. And I think that's a good place to be. I mean, on the one hand, the frustration is, sometimes disempowering, but a lot of people just sort of took the fact and, the reality of what they've done with the Sanders campaign. There are a lot of people who said that Bernie Sanders was virtually unknown last year, and now, he got this close. I've known Senator Sanders for about 5 or 6 years now. He did a great filibuster when
On the crime bill, yeah.
Obama, passed the Republican tax cuts in exchange for an extension of unemployment. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of people, specifically Occupy people, saw that in 2010 prior to Occupy springing up. So he was well known to some degree. But to other people who aren't as politically active, he was more well known because of the people who were there, their efforts. And it's like, well, if we can do that, what else can we do?
Now, one last question. Were most of the people there Berniacs, or are most of the Democrats there Berniacs, or did you have Democrats from all sides of the party?
That I'm not sure I can answer. I got to say the people who were the most passionate were Sanders Democrats, but there was representation from the Green Party and Socialist Party, Socialist Alternative. And there were some people who, at least 1 or 2 Hillary delegates, but I don't think they were there en masse.
Thank you very much, Daniel.